Do you really need cable extensions in your PC flips? Well, today I'll compare no cable extensions, cheap cable extensions and a little bit more expensive cable extensions to see if you really need them in your PC flips. So let's go. Before we get into comparing all of the different types of cable extensions, let me tell you what cable extensions actually are. So these are cable extensions. So it's just extensions for the power supply cables inside of your PC, so you can make them a different color is usually what people want it for. For example, they come in white, which is probably the most popular color, also black or white and black. Those are some really popular colors, but also just to get some more premium looking cables, because those silicone wires that usually come in PCs look pretty bad. Usually a pack of cable extensions comes with a 24-pin ATX power connector, a 8-pin CPU power connector and two 6+2-pin PCIe power connectors for your GPU, but some also come with more or less cables. Now we're gonna compare the different types of cable extensions. So first up, what about just not having cable extensions in your PC flips? Doesn't that just look okay? Well, if you've got a black build and you've got like cables from your power supply that are just all black, that could look fine. But if you have a white build, for example, or a build that isn't black or in a specific color scheme, it's really recommended to get cable extensions, because that makes it look much better. Especially if you've got a white build, black cables just look out of place and they aren't that good looking. Ketchup and mustard cables look really bad, and in that case I would really recommend getting cable extensions, especially because they aren't that expensive. We'll get into that later. So if you got a black build with a power supply with black cables, you really don't need cable extensions, but it would still make it look much better. So you've decided you want cable extensions, but you don't want to spend a lot of them because you still want decent profit. Well, that's where these cheap cable extensions come in. These are the cheapest I could find on Amazon Germany, and these are 18 gauge white cable extensions, and 18 gauge is pretty thin. The higher the number, the thinner the cables. Usually cable extensions are 16 gauge, but they have a little bit of like a silver hue, which isn't that great. It doesn't look that great. It just feels like a cheap material these cables have, but they're still white and they still do the job, so therefore I would still recommend them. But they also come with black cable combs, which I'm not a big fan of, because you want an all white build. But if you're doing like a one black build, that could be a good thing. And the cable combs also just feel pretty cheap. They feel pretty cheap overall, but they're white cable extensions and they do the job of adding aesthetics to the PC. So therefore I would still recommend them for the very cheap price that you can get them at. Now, if you want to spend slightly more on cable extensions, I recommend getting these Asiahorse cable extensions, which I have in my PC, and these actually look really good. They feel really premium, they're of a higher quality material, and they come with white cable combs that also look better, and the connectors also in white, as you can see. The thing with these are that they only come with a basic 24-pin and 8-pin and two 6+2-pin cables, while this pack comes with much more cables. So in conclusion, for black builds with black power supply cables, no cable extensions are just fine. But if you're doing a PC build with a more of a color scheme, I really recommend getting cable extensions. The cheapest ones are just fine, but if you want a little bit of a nicer looking build, the Asiahorse cable extensions that cost about $5 to $10 more are actually much better looking. That was everything for this comparison of cable extensions. If you want to see more PC flipping content, if you're a PC flipper yourself, I really recommend checking out my building and flipping PCs series. Thanks for watching.